I could barely remember what I had said the night before. I called him up and he screamed at me for 10 minutes and then said, okay, I want to do 15 shows, blah, 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 blah. These are the series I want to play. And he put the phone down. And I thought, my God, I better do a tour then. And that was it. That's how I started.
This is the way to do it. I think you don't like that much eBay and all that secondary ticketing. And then also I want to have your opinion about this merge, Ticketmaster and Live Nation.
Okay. I think everybody, or most people, know my views about what a ticket is. I think it's very important to understand what I believe a ticket means. A ticket is a license to enter a premises to see entertainment. A ticket is not a commodity that can be bought and sold. I sell tickets to fans who want to see their heroes. I don't sell tickets to people that want to make a business out of selling tickets and making money out of it. In Europe, it is not as strong as it is in England or in America, where it's absolutely horrific. And so what's happened is this business has developed up where people are buying tickets and creating a false demand in order to make money out of it, and it's called the secondary ticket business. It's horrible, it doesn't make any sense. It makes even less sense that people think if they pay £200 for a ticket, that on the ticket it says £50, they can get a better seat, because actually they get a worse seat because whatever they can get. It makes no sense for the public to pay excess money to go and see these shows. And it makes even less sense for our business to allow this to happen. And so the issue is that we watch it happen, and now what's happening is that artists and some promoters are part of that system where they will take out a block of seats and a manifest and seat them into this secondary market so they get extra money. I spend, and as Claudio does, and anyone here is a promoter, hours putting budgets together to work out a balance of what I have to pay the act against what it costs me, against what I think the public can afford. I don't do it to sit down and think, well, if I take this 200 tickets out or 300 tickets out and sell them for 25 times the face value or 10 times the face value of the ticket, that's my profit. I do it, I stand or fall on whether I put the right act in the right place at the right time for the right money. I'm not in the business for making a profit out of selling tickets, and that's what the secondary market is. And my problem with Ticketmaster is, particularly because it has so much control, is it's like a leaking sieve where Ticketmaster allow all these tickets to disappear all over the place, and with their own excessive internal charges, some of which goes back to the artists and the promoters and Lord knows who else, that it's not right. And they won't do anything about it to stop it. They can stop it if they want to, but they won't. And I think it's totally wrong, and I hope it doesn't creep into Europe in as way as it has in England and America, because it's awful, and it shouldn't be allowed. We're not in the business, as I believe, to scalp ourselves. We're in the business to get fans to come to concerts.
I like to add that maybe someone remember, Harvey for sure, that in the occasion of the last tour Bruce Springsteen did, when Ticketmaster put on sale the tickets for America, it was a link immediately from the website of Ticketmaster to a secondary ticketing owned by Ticketmaster. And Bruce, to my memory, it was the only artist so far, I haven't seen this done by U2, I haven't seen this done by anyone else, writing a letter, a public letter against this and immediately stopping them. So I mean, Harvey, don't you think that there is a strong responsibility about all of this from the artist, from the manager, from the agent?
Yeah, look, we live in a funny time. I think we've lost a lot of creativity. I think we've lost a lot of individuality with artists. And I think from the business side of it, it's become too much business and not enough about looking after the fans. And I think as promoters, we have a duty of care to protect the fan, even if the fan doesn't want to be protected themselves. And there is a complete madness about people that think they can, if they spend a lot more over the face value of a ticket, they actually get a better seat, because they don't. And it's wrong. And so it's something that we have to decide where we sit, and hopefully as new promoters come up with new ideas, they'll deal with it. I mean, I manage Jeff Beck, and when we go out on tour...
That was my next question.
I was going to say, where we can, we use what is called electronic ticketing, where you have to, whatever method you paid for your ticket, you have to bring that method with you to the box office before you can get in. And it's called paperless tickets and whatever.
Yes.
We can do that, except when you go to New Jersey, it's illegal, because in New Jersey, the Congress or the senator or whoever lives in that place, who obviously gets all these tickets from scalpers, has made it illegal because it says it's the people's choice, which is complete bullshit, of course.
I mean, I do have several more questions, but the time is... Can I have another 10 minutes? I'm asking to the... Someone can tell me if I can go over 10 minutes? Thank you very much. Excuse me? What do you say?
I'm so sorry, but you really have to finish. Maybe one question and then it's... I'm sorry.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Very strange. Okay. And you know what? I wouldn't respect the curfew. Both of us. Sometime, in respect of the audience, we don't respect the curfew, and we wouldn't respect now. Anyway, very briefly. So, how do you become a manager, and how much you keep on your way of acting as a manager of your promoter skill?
When I was doing Rolling Stones tour in 1976, we did 6 shows at Earl's Court, a famous building, and just before the Stones came into town, Bill Wyman phoned me up and said, I want you to go and meet Van Morrison. He wants to get back into the business. He's been out of it for a while, in rehab and whatever, and Van Morrison is looking for a manager, and I told him to come and see you. And I said, well, I don't manage, I'm a promoter. And he said, go and see him. Anyway, I went to see Van Morrison.
Poor you.
And Van Morrison persuaded me to manage him. So I brought him back out of, he hadn't played for a while. I put him back on the road. I produced an album with him, actually with Dr. John, and that started his career. And I managed him for 3 years, and he kept promising he was going to come to England. And eventually he went back to America to live there, and I was commuting every 3 weeks, which was a nightmare, and I just got fed up with it. So I started managing way back, and I always went back to promoting. And then when Mick Jagger had a period when the Stones weren't working, I looked after him and I did his solo albums. And then when Roger Waters left the Pink Floyd and the Pink Floyd broke up, I looked after Roger Waters and got him going. So management was something that I knew about. And I also, again by another quirk of fate, ended up managing a very famous Scottish comedian who's now pretty well known globally, called Billy Connolly. And that was a labour of love, because he just used to make me laugh constantly. So I managed him for 10 years. So management is not new to me, but I always went back to promoting. And then 3 years ago, I was at an awards show, Classic Rock Awards, getting an award, and Jeff Beck was there. He was getting an award, and I'd known him for 30-odd years. I'd promoted some of his early shows with Beck Bogart and a piece, and some of the early Jeff Beck shows. We just remained friends. And anyway, I go to America. He called me up, and I came back to England, and we got together, and he said, you know, I'm lost. I'm not going anywhere, and with my current management, it's just not working out. Can you help me out? And we just started a pathway since 2009, which has been a most amazing road. He's out on the road now, which is why I came in from Canada. Since I've been with him, he's been voted into the Hall of Fame. He's won 4 Grammys, actually 5 Grammys since I've been with him. And his record sales have gone up tenfold, I think. And we've
So
had a
you
lot of
enjoy
fun, and he's really enjoying it. And now I'm looking at artists now, and I've got to the point in my life where, as I said earlier, I hate promoting, where I want to use my experience to help some new acts. So I can't help thousands of new acts, but I just found a band that a friend of mine's just produced called Big Mountain, and a guy called Jed Lieber has just written and produced a new single for them. They were out in Hawaii, and they were out at dinner with a station controller from Clear Channel, and they just played it on the iPhone, and he said, "You've got to give me this track." So we have no record, and it just shows you what you can do. We have no record deal of any description. Jed owns a studio called Nightbird. This was last Thursday. On Friday, we filmed Nightbird Records. On Monday, they went up to the Clear Channel station in Honolulu, played the track. It's now Thursday. I got an email this morning. It's number 1 on their playlist. It's number 5 on the TV playlist. It's number 4 on the Maui station, and it's come out of nowhere, which just shows you, and so we put it up on iTunes, which just shows you, with all the bullshit that goes on in our business, and the one thing I want to leave you with is this.
I have one
If
more
an
question,
artist
the last one.
writes a great song and can perform and has a good management behind them, not only can you sell physical records, but you can have a massive global hit. But you need the team. You've got to have the guy or the girl in front, and you've got to have an important team behind that works pushing it all forward in the same direction. And you can look at Adele, who's, I think, 10 million records up worldwide in the last year when records are supposed to be dead.
Yeah.
And what's just happened to me in 4 days, where I think we're going to have a big hit with this track out of nowhere. It just proves the point why we're all here today and why we're in the business. Great artist, great song, it works.
Just to finish, I mean, an hour ago I was talking about marketing, and he finished promoting a new act. So this is clearly an example that when he's talking about marketing, he knows what he's talking about. Just to finish, some time ago I read somewhere that you said that you want to participate to the election of the Mayor of London. Do you really think you can be a good mayor for London?
I think I'd be a brilliant mayor, actually.
I was sure about.
I've been very passionate about London. I've been involved in the politics of London from the beginning, and I was involved with the group that chose the mayor, and I think if I could get time off out of this business, I'd like to stand for it.
Please stand up, standing ovation for Harvey Goldsmith, please.